South Downs Way 50 is a 50-mile trail race that takes place every April, organised by Centurion Running. This will be my second time running the race after first running it back in 2023 alongside the South Downs Way 100. Runners would start at Hillbarn Recreation Ground just near Worthing, and from there would make our way up onto the South Downs Way National Trail, joining it at about 6 miles into the race. From there we'd follow the way along, with 5 aid stations in total along the route, where we could restock and refuel, and we'd be going past Devil's Dyke, Ditchling Beacon, Firle Beacon, amongst other key points along the South Downs route. Conditions were looking pretty good overall, excellent underfoot, though a little bit warm with highs of 20 degrees, and once we had made our way along the South Downs Way trail, then we would dip off the route, heading down what's been known as the Gully of Doom to do a lap of the track at Eastbourne Sports Park to finish.
3, 2, 1.
So at 8:30 we set off, over 400 runners running this edition of the South Downs Way 50, and my goal for the day was to try and run something near to 7 hours 30 minutes. A pretty ambitious goal given that back in 2023 my time had been 8:14, so I knew that I was going to have a pretty much perfect race to be able to get near that, but I was going to try and ease into things, not set off too fast early on, and then just see what the legs and the body had left in the later stages of the race. Carla, my fiance, was also running the South Downs Way 50, and this would be her first Centurion event, though second 50 miler after running a particularly muddy LDWA event last year. At approximately 6 miles into the race, we joined the South Downs Way National Trail at a place called Shanktonbury Ring, a Bronze Age hill fort that over the years has been used for many different things, from a cattle enclosure to a religious shrine, and at one point it even had a temple built on top of it during the Roman period. At this point in the race I was feeling pretty good, though of course it was very early days. But things were going well, I hadn't set off too fast, and I was also running with a good squad of people here. Guy and John from Henfield Joggers, and also Charlie from my local vegan runners group. So we're about coming up to 11 miles in at the moment, and got the first aid station coming up after this descent. Just heading past the pigs at the moment. Everyone who's done the South Downs Way 50 before, you'll know this spot. Bit of a smell as you're running past it, but beautiful scenery. Look at this, stunning day for a good bit of breeze coming our way, about 9 or 10 mile an hour, and we'll be reaching that first aid station in about a mile or so's time. So yeah, good times. How you finding it so far, Charlie?
Yeah, it's all good at the minute, mate. Not too hot, a little bit of wind. Great company, of course. Mr. Benjamin.
So Charlie was doing Brighton Marathon last weekend. He thought for a bit of a warm-up for today.
Yeah, bit of a stupid idea though. I've got ill. I've got no one to blame but myself.
After passing through aid stations at Botolph's and Saddlescombe Farm at 11 and 16 miles respectively, we headed towards Ditchling Beacon, and after Ditchling Beacon you hit what is probably my most favourite part of the course, at least in running terms anyway. There's a 3-mile gentle downhill, not too steep so you smash your quads, but just enough to give you a bit of pace as you head towards the aid station at Housestein Farm at 27 miles. So we're just over 28 miles in, and we are past the Housestein Farm aid station at 27 miles. Yeah, I've been feeling the heat really today. It's not crazy hot, maybe 18 degrees, but yeah, I generally run pretty warm, so yeah, had some issues relating to that, a bit of cramp in my left quad, and then my stomach was struggling to keep a gel down, but that seems to have passed. I'm just trying to keep it moving. My initial target for today was 7:30, so quite an ambitious target given that I ran this 2 years ago and it was 8:14 I came out with, but I'm thinking might need to adjust that, and hopefully if I can get something between 7:30 and 8, that would be great. But yeah, just trying to keep it moving, keep the liquids going in, and it is a stunning day for this. Really amazing. Very good underfoot as well, so there's no mud, of course, when we've had weather like this and not much rain recently. So yeah, in many ways very perfect. And just doing this long climb out of Housestein Farm at the moment. So we're just coming up to 50k and we have hit the yellow brick road. So this is a long 1 mile slightly downhill stretch of the South Downs Way, so getting in a bit of a road run for today, and we're at 4:53 at the moment. So yeah, just coming up to 50k. Stomach seems to have settled a bit now, which is good. Just feeling quite leggy today really, but yeah, I'm just trying to adjust, keep the liquids going in and focus on one foot in front of the other. And we've got an aid station coming up in about 3 miles time, which will be southeast. So that'll be our aid station at the 34 mile point. One thing I realised during this event was that actually I'd kind of forgotten what it was like to run for this much during a race. My main races last year had been the UTS 100k, so out in Snowdonia, where it's pretty technical and that involves a bit of scrambling. And then my other key race had also been a mountain race, the Swiss Alps 100k. And in these races, you're obviously moving very differently. You're walking much more, you're scrambling in bits here and there. So yeah, you're not really running as much as you would do for something like the South Downs Way 50. And I certainly felt the difference when it came to race day. So we're about 37 miles in. And yeah, the last few miles have been really slow going. I've had several problems just hit me at the same time. Doesn't seem to be my day. So firstly, the cramp in my thigh has flared up and made it very difficult to run. Secondly, my stomach is just not settling, so a bit of a battle with that. And then the other thing is that because of the quite high pollen today, my lungs are just finding it very hard to get air in. I've had a couple of pumps of the puffer, try and sort it out, but yeah, God, this is a battle at the moment. But I'm pretty sure I can finish it in the cut-off. I've still got lots of time. What are we, 6 hours 16 at the moment and almost 38 miles in. So yeah, that's fine. It's just, of course, my goals have to adjust, but that's all right. You know, I wanted to go out quite ambitious, and you know, that can sometimes be the danger that it maybe is pushing a little bit too hard. But I'm just going to reset a bit and then carry on, keep going, see if I can do as much running as possible, but also just try and enjoy it. Just coming up the penultimate climb on the South Downs Way 50. So we've gone out of the Alfriston aid station at about 41 miles and we are 7:16 at the moment on the clock, 43 miles. So we've got this climb to do here, and then we've got one other climb after the last aid station at Jevington. So not too long to go now, just got to push for the last 6 or so miles and get to that track in Eastbourne. So we eventually made it to the top of the final climb, which looks out over Eastbourne, and then we headed down what has been affectionately named the Gully of Doom. And I was running the gully with Matt here from Norfolk, and we shared the last 10 miles of the race together. It was really, really good to run with him, and there were several people during the day I ran with who really helped to get me out of a slump, get me in a more positive mindset, to focus just on enjoying the trails and moving step by step towards that finish. Right, we made it to the track. Under 400 metres to go, so not long at all. Too.
Well done.
I was super proud to see Carla come over the line in 10:56, knocking 4 hours off her previous 50-mile time, and of course depleting every single aid station of their watermelon supply in the process. So although my race didn't quite go to plan, of course times aren't everything. They're just one of many ways we can set ourselves a challenge as runners, but we've got to be prepared to adjust expectations, especially with ultramarathons where there's so many variables that can alter things. As they say, a lot can happen in 50 miles. Above all, my biggest takeaway from the day will be the community, the support that there was out there on the trails, and of course the people I slogged out miles with. Thank you to everyone I shared the trails with, and thank you Centurion for another excellent event.